In the studio this morning, Fred Stonehouse and Hillary Billman from the Marquette Maritime Museum. Thanks for being here.
Well, thank you for having us.
So, Fred, tell everyone what's the focus of your presentation next Tuesday night?
Next Tuesday night is going to be Forgotten Heroes, the U.S. life-saving service on the Great Lakes, with particular emphasis on Marquette Station.
Okay, because this is Forgotten Heroes, it says it all. I mean, people, I don't think I've ever heard of them.
Well, back in the 1840s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, there was a carnage of shipwrecks occurring on the eastern seaboard. Hundreds of people died with just one single shipwreck. So finally, the federal government would step in and establish small lifeboat stations up and down the coast, and these maybe 8 or 9 men on a station, they would go out and try and make the rescue of the victims of these shipwrecks. And of course, those stations also were placed on the Great Lakes. So these men were truly iron men in wooden boats, terrific heroes that we know almost nothing about today.
Yeah. Now, Hillary, this presentation is kind of a new series you're starting with the Maritime Museum.
Yeah, we've always done summer programming, but now we've started doing winter programming. And last month we did our first Maritime History on Tap at the Ordock, and it was very successful. So we've got Fred next week, and then next year, starting in November through April, once a month, we will also be doing Maritime Tap on History at the Ordock.
Okay, and now there's plenty to talk about with this presentation. Obviously, that's why you're doing a whole presentation on it, but we have a little preview this morning. Some pictures that from your presentation.
Well, this is the original life-saving crew in Marquette, taken about 1890 when the station was built. Fell in the middle with the mustache Henry Cleary, who was one of the great and legendary heroes of the service.
Another picture of the crew coming up here.
Here we have another one, and the fascinating thing about this picture is there's women in the background, and we know nothing about them. And we also know very little about the men in that picture other than Captain Cleary.
Okay. And now some pictures from, where they were working.
Well, this is the old boathouse that was there, and of course 2 different types of boats that are being displayed here. But again, being able to take these boats out in waves that were 20 and 30 feet high and winds screaming at 60 knots and rowing. That's the type of men that these were.
Yeah, that takes some guts. And now, looking right now, this is a present-day picture.
This is the present-day picture of the original station built 1891, still part of the facility that the city now is making into Lighthouse Park.
Okay.
So if you want to touch history, if you want to see history, you can go right down there and look at the same building that these guys were posed of in front of 100 years ago.
I've always looked at that building since, well, my whole life, and I never knew that was, well, obviously it's been there for a long time. So now coming up, Tuesday, March 6th, a week from tomorrow, this presentation, 7 o'clock, Ordock Brewing Company in Marquette, $5 suggested donation?
Absolutely. And we encourage everybody to come, because how better can you listen to a great program on maritime history than with a glass of beer?
That sounds like a pretty good evening. Well, thank you both for being here, and looking forward to more presentations next winter, too.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.